Hi friends, I am Uday Kandpal and I welcome you all to yet another lecture on NCERT Class 6 History Chapter 2 with fact elaboration by Uday Kandpal. The name of the chapter is From Hunting Gathering to Growing Food. So let's start. Hunters and gatherers. Hunters and gatherers moved from place to place because of the following possible reasons. So the first reason is in search of food. The second reason is to hunt animals. The third reason is in search of different plants, and fourth is in search of water. So this is about hunters and gatherers, how they move from places to places. Then what are the archaeological evidences? Archaeologists have found the tools that the ancient humans used during different ages. People made and used tools of stone, wood, bone, of which the stone tools have survived the best. Why have stone tools survived the best? Because of its durability. Stone tools were used to cut meats and bones, scrape barks from trees and hides, and chop fruits and roots. Some important archaeological sites are Mehergarh, Burjahom, Hallur, Inamgaon, Hansji, Koldihuwa, Kolkata, Brahmgiri, Chiran, Muhagara, Payampalli, Adichanallur, Daujali Harding, Kurnool Caves. Mumbai Mumbai, Kolkata, Delhi are example of the latest city. The new cities and rest all are the archaeological sites. So let's talk about some important archaeological sites. There are Paleolithic sites. Paleolithic sites are the sites which are belonging to the old stone age. The first is Bhimbetka, which is Madhya Pradesh. The second is Hansji, which is in Karnataka. The third is Kurnool Caves, Andhra Pradesh. All the sites are mentioned in the chapter 2 map in history NCERT class 6 book textbook. The Neolithic sites or the final division of the Stone Age or the later Stone Age: Mehergarh, Pakistan; Burjhom, Jammu and Kashmir; Mahagarh and Koldihawa, Uttar Pradesh; Hallur, Haveri district, Karnataka; Payampalli, Tirupattur Taluk of Vellore district in Tamil Nadu; Daujali Harding, Khasao district of Assam. Megalithic sites. A megalith is a large prehistoric stone that has been used to construct a structure or monument, either alone or together with other stones. There are over 35,000 in Europe alone, ranging from Sweden to the Mediterranean Sea. In India, it is in Brahmagiri, Karnataka, Adichamalur in Tamil Nadu. Their megalithic structures are being found. Other than that, early villages like Inamgaon, which is about a post-Harappan agrarian village and archaeological site located in Maharashtra. Modern sites: Mumbai, Delhi, etc. Then other things that are of important archaeological evidences are fire. Ashes have been found in the Kurnool caves. Wild animal paintings have been found in Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. The ages of ancient India. So now let's talk about the ages. We talked about the sites of different ages. Now we will talk about the ages. So ages are Paleolithic age, Old Stone Age, that's about 2 million years ago to 12,000 years ago, which consists of Upper Paleolithic Age, Middle Paleolithic Age, Lower Paleolithic Age. Mesolithic Age, the Middle Stone Age, which is from 12,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago. Use of microliths are there in the Mesolithic Age. And Neolithic Age, or the later Stone Age, that's 10,000 years ago to now. Other than Neolithic age, there have been other classifications also. We will talk about them later. 3-age system, the data source. The 3-age system is the periodization of history into 3 time periods. For example, the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age. The ages we talked about, Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age, and Neolithic age, belong to the Stone Age. And then later is the Bronze Age and the Iron Age, although it also refers to the tripartite divisions of historic time periods also. So let's talk about the different ages in the archaeological history. The Stone Age, 3.5 million years to 2000 BCE. It is saying so. Paleolithic age. The tools used in the Paleolithic age are handmade tools and the objects found in nature, that's like cudgel, club, sharpened stone, chopper, hand axe, scraper, spear, harpoon, needle, scratch awl. In general, stone tools of the modes 1 to 5. Economy is about hunting and gathering. Dwelling sites are the mobile lifestyle, like a nomadic lifestyle, caves, huts, husk bone or skin hovels, mostly by rivers and lakes. Society: a band of edible plant gatherers and hunters of about 25 to 1,000 people. Now the Stone Age people had same religion for the Paleolithic and the Mesolithic period. It was evidence of belief in the afterlife. They have The belief in afterlife, the first appear in the Upper Paleolithic, marked by the appearance of burial rituals and ancestor worship. Shamans, priests, and century servants appear in the prehistory. So let's talk about the Mesolithic age. The Mesolithic age, mode 5 tools were employed in the composite devices like harpoon, bow, and arrow. Other devices such as the fishing baskets and boats were also there. So that means fishing have been started. Economy, intensive hunting and gathering, porting of wild animals and seeds of wild plants, and domestic use in planting. Temporary dwelling sites are temporary villages and opportune locations for economic activities. Society are tribes and bands, and religion is same as the Paleolithic thing. So they believed in afterlife and they had the place of burial. Neolithic age, tools used were polished stone tools, devices useful in subsistence farming, defense, chisel, hoe, plow, yoke, creeping hook, grape, grain powder, loom, earthenware, pottery, and weapons. So pottery is also added. Economy is Neolithic revolution, that is domestication of plants and animals used in the agriculture and herding, supplementary gathering, hunting, fishing, and warfare. Dwelling sites, that means permanent settlements varying in size from villages to walled cities and public road. Now there were walled cities, so people started protecting things and storing things. Society, tribes, and formation of shelters in some Neolithic societies at the end of this period. Religion is about polytheism. There were shamanism, there were mother goddesses, and other gods. So it was polytheism. Now coming to Bronze Age. Bronze Age is an advanced age which is from 3300 BCE to 3000 BCE. So it's about the Copper Age and the Bronze Age. Copper Age and Chalcolithic Age and the Bronze Age, both combined, are included in the Bronze Age. So Copper Age, the Chalcolithic Age, contains a tool like copper tools, potter's wheel, etc. And Bronze Age consists of tools made up of bronze. So copper and tin, which is bronze. Economy is civilization, including craft, trade. So they are city civilizations. Urban centers surrounded by politically attached communities in the dwelling sites. City states, society is city states. Religion, ethnic god state religion. We will come to know about the Janpadas and Mahajanpadas, the 16 Mahajanpadas in the later part of the history. We will study. Iron Age, 1200 to 550 BCE. Used tools are the iron tools. Economies including trade and much specialization. So their specialization in trades are also there, and often there are taxes known as cuts and other names, including towns or even large cities connected by roads. So dwelling sites include towns and large cities now. In fact, they are connected by roads. They are properly they have proper boundaries. They are properly surrounded, like we have found in the Harappan civilization also, that there were boundaries. So the Iron Age people also had boundaries. Society, large tribes, kingdoms, and empires, and religion is one or more religion sanctioned by the state. So religion was now being sanctioned by the state. So outline of historical evolution. Right now, before this slide, we talked about the different ages, and the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. Now we will talk about different era. Different era had different ages. So like first is Cenozoic era, which is having period called Quaternary period and Tertiary period, and Mesozoic era having Cretaceous period, Jurassic period, and Triassic period. Then Paleozoic era, which is having Permian period, Carboniferous period, Devonian period, Silurian period, Ordovician period, Cambrian period. Then Proterozoic era, the Vendian and Sturtian, and then the Hadean era, Archeozoic. So these are the previous eras we have talked about. So Quaternary period had 3 million years ago, started in 3 million years ago. Prior to that, so this is in the reverse order. So first would be Hadean era, then would be Sinian era, then would be Paleozoic era, then would be Mesozoic era, then would be Cenozoic era. So the first, which is 3 million years ago, the Quaternary period is 3 million years ago, and Tertiary period is 65 million years ago. Similarly, Cretaceous period 135 million years ago, Jurassic period of the Mesozoic era 215, Triassic 250 million years ago, Permian 290 years Carboniferous 360 million years ago. Carboniferous period is also Pennsylvanian or Mississippian period. Devonian 405 years ago. Silurian period 435 million years ago. Devonian 405 million years ago, not years ago. Ordovician 505 million years ago. Cambrian 570 million years ago. Vanadian 610 years ago, and Sturtian 800 to 3800 million years ago, and the Hadean period was 4560 million years ago. Hadean period was basically the volcano and lava period when the earth was still forming. So there were lavas and volcanoes, so it was about 4 billion years ago. So geology is oldest rocks. So let's talk about the epoch and the biology and the geology about. So the Cenozoic era, the Quaternary period had two epochs, Holocenic epoch and Pleistocenic epoch. Holocenic epoch was 0.4 million years ago, and Pleistocenic epoch was 3 million years ago. Biology is about age of humans. So the Quaternary period is about the age of humans. We, the humans, are belonging to the Quaternary period of the Cenozoic era. Geology, Wisconsin ice, 7,000 years, and cycles of glaciation. Then the Pliocenic epoch is of the tertiary period is 5 million years ago. Miocene is 25 million years ago. Oligocene is 38 million years ago. Eocene is 55 million years ago, and Paleocene is 65 million years ago. So the biology are hominid 5 million years ago, radiation of mammalia and aves, dominance of the teleosts, and geology is North and South America joined. So North and South America joined during this period, the Cenozoic era, the Tertiary period. Continents assuming modern position. So the Tertiary period of the Cenozoic era, which is ranging from about 5 to 65 million years ago, the continent came to the current form. Prior to that, there was Cretaceous period of the Mesozoic era, 135 million years ago. The biology were massive extensions of the origin of angiospermas and the colonial insects, and the geology were that North America and Eurasia separate. So North America and Eurasia started separating, and South America and Africa separate. So according to the geologists and the historians, the South America and Africa were combined, and North America and Eurasia were combined. So they both disintegrated during the Cretaceous period about 135 million years ago. Jurassic 215 million years ago, the age of dinosaurs. So the Jurassic period of the Mesozoic era is about the age of dinosaur, the origin of aves, the origin of the teleost fishes, and the geology is about breakup of Pangaea and the Gondwana land and Laurasia. So what we talk about the breakup of Gondwana land and Laurasia, it was in the Jurassic period of the Mesozoic era. The Triassic period, which is about 250 million years ago, had gymnosperms dominant, origin of Therapsida and origin of dinosaurs. So the dinosaurs originated in the Triassic period 250 million years ago, and they continued to thrive in the Jurassic period of the Mesozoic era. We also know about the film Jurassic Park. You can go and watch it on any of the digital platform. Geology is about continental drift in the Triassic period. Now the Permian period, 290 million years ago, the Great Dying period, greater than 95% of the marine invertebrates extinct. So Permian period was a Great Dying period. Pangaea supercontinent and Tethys Sea were there. The geology, Carboniferous period, the 360 million years ago, forest of tree ferns, age of amphibia, origin of amniota, and geology is about origin of coal fields. So coal started forming in the Carboniferous period. That is why it is called Carboniferous period. Carbon means coal. Coal means carbon. Actually, Devonian 405 million years ago, abundant terrestrial life, bryophytes, club mosses, insect, age of fishes, origin of amphibia. So we are getting to see a lot of scientific terms like bryophytes, gymnosperma, angiosperma, insect, aves, Cretaceous period now, and amphibians, reptiles, terrestrial life, and so on. So we need to know about all these terms. Then geology is Pangaea coalescing. Pangaea started coalescing in the Devonian period. The Devon. The Silurian period is 435 million years ago. Invasion of land by arthropoda and tracheophyta. Origin of the Nextomata. Ostracodermy dominant, and origin of Placodermy. So again, these are all the scientific terms used for different kind of animal people of animal kingdom, the arthropods and the placodermy. Ordovician 505 million years ago, invertebrates dominant seas, trilobites are dominant. Cambrian period 570 million years ago, origin of vertebrata and Cambrian explosion, invertebrate phyla and algae abundant. So algae period. Cambrian period is also called as the algae period. Origin of vertebrata and Cambrian explosion was there. Invertebrate phyla. Then Vanadian and Strontian period, the Proterozoic era. The Proterozoic era is about the chordata. There are protochordata and chordata. So chordata, Pikaia, and origins of life. Origin of life started in the Sinian period. So Sinian period, and then there is the Hadean period where there is no life, only oldest rocks, lava, magma, and heat. The same status that Venus is in right now, probably, or probably worse than that. So if we talk about life in the river in the order of its formation, so first there were chordates and the origin of life during the Proterozoic period. Then there were alga and invertebrate phyla during the Cambrian period of the Paleozoic era. Then there were invertebrate dominant seas in the Ordovician period in the Paleozoic era. Then there were arthropods and placodermy and ostracodermy during the Silurian period of Paleozoic era. Then there were abundant terrestrial life, bryophytes, club mosses, insect ages of fishes, and origin of amphibia. So amphibians started during Devonian period of the Paleozoic era. Then there were forests of tree ferns, age of amphibia, origin of amniota during the Carboniferous period. So it is about the origin of coal fields, point to be noted. Then there were great dying periods. So Permian period is about extinction of the 95% of the species that started during the Proterozoic era and continued till the Carboniferous period. Then the gymnosperms were dominant during the Triassic period of the Mesozoic era, and dinosaurs start swarming. So there large scale life, large scale animals are there. Then there is the age of dinosaur and the origin of aves during the Jurassic period and origin of the teleost fishes. Then there is massive extinction again in the Cretaceous period. So we know about the Permian period and the Cretaceous period where there were massive extinctions. Origin of angiospermas. So colonial insects started to be there in the Cretaceous Mesozoic period. Then there were tertiary period of hominids and mammalia and aves and dominance of teleost. And then there was the quaternary period where the human beings evolved, and now the quaternary period have the ages like Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age, the Stone Age consisting of the Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age, Neolithic age, and then the Bronze Age and the Iron Age, which we are the part of now. So historical behaviors. Let's study about historical behaviors. As already said, finding about fire. Kurnool caves have the traces of ash found there. Fire could have been used for many things like a source to light, to roast meat, and to scare away animals. Then change in environment about 12,000 years ago. There was a major climatic change, development of grasslands in many areas, increase in number of deers, antelope, goats, sheep, and cattle, that is, animal that survived on grass. Then hunting and fishing became important, and hunters followed the pattern of grassland and animals. Then beginning of farming and herding started. So first finding out fire, then change in environment, then beginning of farming and herding, then starting a new way of life, then storing animals, and then towards a settled life. This is about the historical behavior. So let's start about the beginning of farming and herding now. Several grain-bearing grasses including wheat, barley and rice grew naturally on different parts of the continent. People started collecting and growing crops that were grown. They left food in the shelters to start taming the animals. These animals like sheep, cattle, goats, pigs lived in herds and most of them ate grass. Humans started protecting these animals from the wild and using them for rearing and domestication, and thus became herders. Dog was the first animal to be tamed. So point to be noted, dog was the first animal to be tamed. Starting a new way of life, people started growing plants and thus had to stay at same places for plants to grow, and changing them from nomadic status to seasonic settlers. Now grains were used as seed, as food, as gift, as storage for food. As grains need to be stored, people started finding ways to store it and started making duck pits into the grown and later woven baskets, rags, and clay pots. Storing animals. Animals multiply naturally and exponentially. Animals can be used for milk, meat, and thus need to be stored or reared. So now towards the settled life, archaeological traces have been found of huts and houses. For example, the Burzum in Kashmir, there were pits dug and steps downwards. were there, which went down. These might have been provided shelter in cold weather. Stone tools were found at many sites as well. These tools were different from Paleolithic tools and were called as Neolithic tools. The tools were polished. Mortars and pestles were used to grind grains. We will talk about the different tools of the Paleolithic and the Mesolithic and Neolithic age in the later slides. At the same time, Paleolithic tools were also made and used during the settled period. So the Neolithic age, many kind of earthen pots have been also found. So these were sometimes decorated and used for storing things. So this is about the Neolithic age towards a settled life. People began using pots for cooking food, especially grains and rice, wheat and lentils that now became an important part of the diet. In Mehergarh, people learned to grow wheat and barley and rear sheep and goats for the first time in that area. Also, rectangular houses have been found at Mehergarh, some of which have been used for storage. Burial sites have been also used in Mehergarh. So now we will talk about archaeological tools used during the different ages, the early or lower Paleolithic age. The older one, you can see the image. The first image on the top is about an older one. The older one industry is named after Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania and comprises the earliest stone industry visible in the archaeological record. It is characterized by simple cores and flake pieces, also alongside some battered artifacts like hammer stones as well as the occasional animal bones showing cut marks. So now we are not talking about the archaeological tools that were used during different ages in India, but also in the worldwide. So this is in from the Europe. The source you can see is from an EU article. The Archeolin, while the older ones were still used in full swings and just about reached East Asia by the able hands of the Homo erectus, Africa became the initial host to a second tool industry. The Acheulean, thus 1.7 million years ago to circa 250,000 years ago, and named after Saint Achille in France, which spread far and wide across Eurasia. A bit later on, it saw developments of tools into new shapes. Large bifaces like hand axes, picks, cleavers, and knives enabled the contemporary Homo erectus and later on the Homo heidelbergensis to literally get a better grip of processing their skills and gathering. So you can see the second image. It's about the Acheulean, named after Saint Achille, and the older one is named after Olduvai Gorge of Tanzania. So this is about the early or the lower Paleolithic period. Then the Middle Paleolithic period, 250,000 years to 30,000 years ago, and some called Mousterian after the site of Les Moustiers in France. So the time period you are seeing is about the Middle Paleolithic ages in the entire world, marks a shift away from the boundless popularity of the hand axes and the cleavers visible throughout the Acheulean. Instead, the focus came to lie on the retouched forms made from flakes and produced from carefully prepared cores using which is known as the Lavoisier technique. So we have come to know about the Lavoisier techniques, a technique which was used to a small extent in the early Paleolithic and the later Paleolithic period. So we can see the image of the Middle Paleolithic age tools. Besides stone, the technology for making wooden spears that had its roots in the Acheulean continued to be Middle Paleolithic, as seen at the site of Lehringen, Germany, where a spear with a fire-hardened tip has been found and connected to an elephant carcass. So elephant carcass was used in the Middle Paleolithic period, where a spear with a fire-hardened tip has been found and connected to an elephant carcass. Bone points, although rare, are also found within the industry. Also, stone points have been found that have thin bases, which might indicate that they could have also be hafted to spear shafts. A discovery of the oldest known Tash hafted stone tools in Europe also falls within the general time frame that corresponds within the industry, and along with the stone points mentioned above helps argue the case for the Middle Paleolithic development of the composite tools. The use of tar as an adhesive for hafting arrowheads and likewise are known for several European Mesolithic and Neolithic sites, so not much until a later point of time. So this is about the Middle Paleolithic. Now let's talk about the late or the Upper Paleolithic period. You can see the Magdalene bone sieving needle. This is a tool used in the Upper Paleolithic period. There are areas in which the Middle Paleolithic was retained for some time, but still, while others had adopted the characteristics that pushed them into the late Paleolithic 50,000, 40,000 to 10,000 years ago, demonstrating a good example of typing dating model that results from the technological way of classification. The industry recedes together the ice sheets and the last glaciations or ice age, after which the climate warmed up. It is also known that sites occupied by anatomically modern human and is generally associated with them, but some of it also falls within the time frame of the last populations of the Neanderthals, who disappeared from the fossil record by approximately 30,000 years ago. Now let's talk about the Mesolithic period or the microliths. There you can see Mesolithic harpoons and the Lingbai axe. So sharp and penetrated but small tools. The way human adopted to new terrains and a wide range of climates throughout late Paleolithic is a good precursor to the kind of adaptation that was required when the last glaciation or the ice age ended about 12,000 years ago. The climate warmed up, causing sea levels to rise, flooding low-lying coastal plains areas and creating, for instance, the English Channel, and for dense woodlands begin to appear. Importantly, many giant prehistoric mammals such as woolly mammoths gradually were extinct, probably pushed by the climate and perhaps also by human hunters impacting some sort of food sources that were available to the contemporary hunter-gatherers. The Mesolithic, spanning from the end of Ice Age to the transition to agriculture, which happened at different times in different regions, saw human adapt to these changing environments. Whereas agriculture did not reach northern Europe till about 4000 BC in the Near East, the Mesolithic barely began all since it was the first place where a leap to farming was made around 9000 BCE. So the Neolithic period, with the age of agriculture between around 9000 BCE in the Near East and up to about 4000 before it had spread the way to northern Europe, the lifestyle of the societies in question obviously changed drastically. This is the only part of the Stone Age in which the societies in the question are no longer hunter-gatherers. However, as implied by the way we choose, so we know that the Neolithic is about the settled way of life. However, as implied by the way we choose to let this age end with the start of the use of bronze, the copper and tin, the first use of which was the Near East around 3300 BCE, the Neolithic still saw the stone tool being used. This huge change to more sedentary lifestyle, it is clear that some Mesolithic traditions carried over and far into the Neolithic. Examples are bones and antler technologies that use of projectile points. Harvesting knives and sickles have also been found in both the Paleolithic and Mesolithic, as they had used before the farming too, but they became popular in the new context with regard to the stoneworking techniques such as grinding and drilling, which were not uncommon even in the later Paleolithic. They now took on a whole new dimension and were applied much more frequently than before. So, hope you liked my lecture on this second chapter. Hope you learned a lot for the government exams. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.